Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whatever time it is, wherever you are. Welcome to Beach Walk Blog. Today I want to talk a little bit more about gait analysis. Now, I'm not talking about one of those crappy things that you get in running shops where they watch you from the knees down on a treadmill. No, I'm not talking about that. That's not a gait analysis. I don't know what that is. I'm not even going to call that a gait analysis, regardless of what they call it in the shop. A gait analysis is looking at your whole body. It's looking at everything from head to toe. And it's also looking at it in two different views, the rear view and the sideways view. You can also do a front view, not really needed so much, but rear and side and full body view. Because here's the thing. In your gait cycle, when you run, when you walk, your entire body goes with you. And that includes your head all the way down to your toes. So in order to do a effective gait analysis, we need to see your whole body move. We need to see how your whole body stacks and aligns itself during every movement. Now, I've talked about how pro and elite runners, how they move and how they move through their gait cycle. I've talked about this lots. I've shown videos, I've shown screenshots of how elite runners get their right shoulder down when they're on their right foot, and how they shift and they get their left shoulder down when they're on their left foot. How their shoulders, how their shoulder girdle shifts, how their torso, their spine rotates. All these things, they are movements. They're all movements of the body, and those movements all together make up the gait movement. And the way that we move through all those movements, the way each individual joint moves, is very, very important. It's very important. Now, that's one of the reasons why I created the sling method, was because of this gait cycle movement. Every joint is involved. Every joint is involved. Every joint moves. Think about that. It's really important. Every single joint moves, or should move, in a particular specific way. Now, I hear a lot of people who are injured still not doing or going through a gait analysis. And the reason why, I think, is because either they think, oh yeah, gait analysis, I got one of those in a running shop and it sucked, or they don't understand the difference between a proper gait analysis and the thing they got in the running shop. And I want to kind of go a little bit deeper on this. Every joint moves. Every joint should move in a specific way according to the demand which is placed upon it by every other joint. That's kind of trippy. That sounds really weird. Every joint should move in a specific way according to how it's loaded and how every other joint affects it. Okay? Now, I want to just focus on this movement thing, because it's really important to focus on the movement, and looking at how each individual joint moves is the important part, because how we think of how each joint moves and the load and the demand which is placed upon it in the right specific time is very, very important. That's the bit that most people, and I really do mean most people miss. And when I say most people, I'm talking 99% or more of people miss this. Now, there's a reason why so many runners are injured. And one of the reasons, there's a few others, but one of the major reasons is because your joints don't move very well. Now, each joint, like I said, has a specific particular function, role to play during the gait cycle, depending on the load which is placed upon it by every other joint. That means that it's all holistically connected. It has to be, because your entire body is going with you for a run. You don't leave your head at home, you don't leave your shoulders at home, your torso at home, and then go and run. It doesn't happen like that. The whole lot is with you. So why shouldn't we focus on each individual joint in the gait cycle movement, how it should act in the gait cycle movement, and then train it to do that thing? Because that's what the sling method is all about. It's about training each joint. And when we train each joint, we train the muscles, the tendons, the ligaments, the fascia to do what it's supposed to do. Now, people, for some strange reason, people just don't seem to understand this, and whether they understand it or not, they're also in the same breath discrediting it like it's not a thing, when it's really obvious that it is a thing, and it's a thing that we need to pay attention to, and we need to really understand that this is a thing. Training each individual joint doesn't take forever. It doesn't take hours and hours and hours and hours. In fact, doing that in a gym would take far longer than doing it the way that we do it in the sling method, because all you've got to do is learn the checklist that I've created. It's very simple. It's just a few things that you need to learn, and then every exercise you just apply that checklist. So it's actually quite simple. Once you've learned that checklist, you just apply it. It's that simple. You don't need 15 different cue lists for 15 different exercises. You're doing part of the gait cycle movement, and you just need to apply that same checklist. So it's far easier than what most people think. And it's really, really good, because what we do is we apply that checklist, and then we move every single joint specifically in the way that it should move during the gait cycle. And when we do the gait analysis, we see which joints are not moving as well as they really should, as well as we want them to, and then we train them. We train them to do those movements. That's what we do. It's literally that simple. So, you know, if you're injured, if you're an injured runner, and you know, you either keep getting injured, or you keep having the same recurring injuries, or you just keep getting issues popping up, like, you know, say it's left foot plantar fasciitis, or left calf issue, left hip, whatever. These things are all related. They're all related. It's not like these are, you know, isolated instances, and I need to rehab my knee, then rehab my ankle, then rehab my foot, then rehab my back. These are all connected. And the reason why I say this is because in reality, it's so obvious when we think about it that they are all connected. They're all completely connected, because your entire body is moving the entire time when you run and when you walk, right? How many joints do you have in your spine? Well, you've got 12 thoracic vertebrae, 7 lumbar, and 5 neck vertebrae. All right. So that's what, 24 joints? Did I make that? Did I do that right? 12, 7, and 5. 24. Yeah. So there's 24 joints. 24 joints that need to move. So why are we doing planks? Because these joints are supposed to move, and we need to train them to move. So why are we doing planks where there's no movement? Isometrically, statically contracting to fix and stiffen and make more rigid the entire spine. Does your spine not move when you run? Of course it does. So make it move. Train it to move the way it's supposed to. Lateral flexion, rotation. All right. So that's the reason why I do a gait analysis, to see which parts are not working properly, and then we use the sling method to train all of the parts. I'll leave it there. Have a great day. Talk to you soon. Bye.